Salam. Good morning. This is Mohammad Moin Rehman from ITN News Network. This is episode 2. Those 5 to 7 million Muslims today in 2024 will be 25 to 30 million in another 30 years. You're going to need us because we will make the difference. And like the lady who is in Congress or House of Representatives, Rashida Tlaib, she said, we will remember in November 2024. There are swing states, Muslims. If you're watching, especially American Muslims, make sure you do not vote for the Democratic Party. Vote for whoever is on the opposite side. Whether you like the guy or not, it doesn't matter. Show to these journalists, show to CNN that the Muslims matter, our votes matter. Georgia was lost by 12,000 votes. There's 70,000 voters in Georgia who are Muslims. Please make sure not one goes to Mr. Biden, because he aided and abetted the present killing of 40,000 Muslims. That is wrong. Mr. Biden, you have an illustrious career. You were vice president for 8 years under Obama. You're the president of this country today. When you go to church or when you close your eyes and see your maker or you follow Jesus Christ, the greatest soul, the holy soul, which Muslims believe. A lot of Christians do not know that. But Islam, if you read the Koran, you will see that Islam believes in Jesus Christ as much as you do, maybe more. We believe in the Virgin Mary. We believe he spoke at childbirth to convince the people that the Mother Mary, I call her mother because she was a mother to the entire civilization on earth. We respect them. He had the power to raise the dead, to cure the lepers. The most amazing soul, that special soul, holy soul that ever walked on earth, not born of man. No man had touched the Virgin Mary. We believe in him. We believe that all prophets, we believe he was a prophet of God, a very special prophet, are created equal. The name of Moses in the Quran has been mentioned 168 times. That is the maximum name of any prophet mentioned in the Quran. We respect other faiths. We respect that Abraham was the father of the religion. We respect Joseph. We respect Isaac. They are all equal. Not one is greater than the other. That is what the Quran says. There has been a lot of wrong done on earth. The entire black population that you see in the United States, where do you think they came from? Read your history, not just about the Holocaust. History is beyond the Holocaust. Holocaust is a part of history. We should read our history. 5.6 million blacks were taken away in Africa. 1.2 million blacks were thrown into the sea, like the movie Amistad, because there was shortage of water, there was sickness, mostly shortage of food. They were just thrown away like garbage. Just throw it away. We don't even want to throw the garbage in the sea anymore. But we threw over 1 million blacks into the sea. Do you know where they came from? Personally, I've traveled to 114 countries, every country in Africa. There is an island called the Gori Island. Gori means white. In Senegal, the Muslim leaders of those times grabbed those black men and sold them to the Portuguese or the British, who kidnapped them in chains, like the movie Amistad or 12 Years a Slave, and brought them here to the United States. Once they were here in the plantations, we all know what happened. One wrong and their private parts were cut. They were hanged upside down, sometimes burned to death. The entire town came out to cheer the way they were murdered. They lived a very scared life. In the morning, they all had to stand outside, like in the movie 12 Years a Slave. And this guy, who was the owner of those slaves, whom he had bought for pennies, whose wives and daughters he molested, used to come out with a Bible in his hand and say, "Oh, this is like exactly what we did to the Red Indians. This is your God. You're going to pray this from today. Your name is going to be George and Henry and Jack or whatever it is." We have nothing against Christianity, but this is not the Christianity that Jesus would have followed. In his last words, he said, "Forgive them, for they know not what they do." He forgave the people who gave him ultimate pain. He had to carry the cross on his back, up the hill, and be crucified. Without a scream, without a protest. These people, like many Muslims in this world, who practice hatred, bigotry, they should not be even touching the holy books. So that's how the entire black population today in the United States, who were 93% Muslims, converted to Christianity. The Muslims are growing in the United States. The 5 million or 7 million Muslims will continue to grow. Not one is going back. So please treat them with respect, as they deserve that respect. And they will treat you with respect. And that goes also, I would suggest, he's a very big man. God has given him a lot of respect. He should be thankful for it. That also goes for President Biden. Please treat the Muslims with respect. They deserve it. They have earned it. They're citizens of this country. They're inhabitants of earth. There are 5 or 6 ways the Muslim will continue to grow. And I'm sure, I have a feeling you know, and everybody knows, all these journalists, the CNN, the Fox, they know. Their boys, the Muslim boys and girls are getting married in their home countries. That's one way of immigration. Either their husbands or their wives are joining them. Their parents, once they become citizens of this country, follow. So do their brothers and sisters, as well as their entire families. Then there are the work visas. Don't forget the lotteries, the lotto visas. And then there is the illegal immigration, which is growing in the United States by the minute. Millions of criminals have landed here in your watch. But amongst those millions, the Afghanis are coming, the Iraqis are coming, the Pakistanis are coming. They're all coming with the biggest and the largest birth rate. And don't forget, statistics say that over 30,000 Americans convert to Islam every year. So 30 years from today, you will be dealing with 25 to 30 million Muslims, if not more. In our future programs, in the future episodes, we shall be discussing ways and norms of how to make things matter. Muslims matter. Black lives matter. All lives matter. Blue lives matter. We all matter. We all can make a contribution to the society, a healthy contribution. That is the purpose of this program. We will continue with that effort, and may God help us, because that's the only help we need. The Koran says, you do your planning and I will do my planning, and my planning is better than yours. I'm a man of faith, I believe in it. So the Muslims of the world, unite Make your voice being heard by your governments, by your kingdoms, by your so-called democracies. You matter. We need to fall under one flag. Even if that flag is just virtual, just call it the flag of Islam. Become a Muslim again. Read the Koran. The Koran is the third book in line. I have read the Gospels and I have read the Torah. There is nothing in the Quran which goes against these people. It doesn't say to kill these people. It says they are your brothers. You can eat at their homes. It allows us to do intermarriages. Do not go with the sects. Forget that you are a Shiite and you are a Sunni, or you belong to this sect or you belong to that. God doesn't like sects. If you read the Quran with meaning, you will understand that our religion is much larger in life, with a much broad way thinking than we think it to be. The blacks, I keep coming to them, they were slaves. And they continued to be that way even after the Civil War. It didn't end. They were still called the N-word. They're still called that today. Mississippi Burning of Gene Hackman, the movie, didn't happen in the 18th century. These are true stories. But one man rose against the system. That was Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. He had nothing to gain. He was taken out at the age of 39. He had a family, he had a wife, he had kids. All he wanted. And you know what? That is exactly what the Muslim should be doing. No fighting back. No hurting anybody. A peaceful revolution within yourself and outside. That's what Martin Luther King Jr. promoted. In Selma, Alabama, dogs were set on them on a peaceful walk. A peaceful walk. If you look at all his protests and his speeches, they used to wear the same cap that Gandhi, the Nehru cap in India, which was a movement which was political, based on no violence. That's what he promoted. And you know what? People that walked with him know that for sure, that today you see two blacks, in the Supreme Court of United States. These are the same people who used to tremble when the white man called him. Tremble. He had no rights. Today they have the right to vote. That is your strength. So that my brothers and sisters in Dearborn, my daughters and sons at different protests at different universities, just take a card with you, like you see the homeless people, write in it. We will remember in November 2024. We will remember in November 2028. We will remember in November 2032. Make that difference. Continue with your studies. Become something. Become attorneys, become doctors. Educate yourself. The change will happen through the voting. Only through the voting. And we shall talk more of how we can make that difference, because that difference can be done. Look at your strength. 800,000 in the state of New York. 350,000 in the state of New Jersey. Over 500,000 in the state of California. Over 300,000 in the state of Texas. Over 150,000 in the state of Georgia. Over 100,000 in the state of Florida, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Illinois. You're everywhere. somewhere in Minneapolis, somewhere you're 50,000. But the votes there are decided by 7,000 votes. Make the difference in November 2024. But educate yourself. No violence. We do not promote violence of any nature. You need the support of your brother, your neighbor who is a Jew or a Christian. They are your brothers. Why they are your brothers? Because if they are Americans, you are an American. You should bleed together. And someday you will have their respect. And who knows? Maybe after listening to this, Mr. Anderson Cooper or Jake Tapper or Wolf Blitzer or Jesse Waters or Gutfeld, who knows? They might have a dream of God telling them that don't do this. Do not take sides, one-sided actions. Just condemning Muslims and foaming at the mouth in your hatred for Islam. Why don't you look at the other side? Why not? Because we will make the difference. In November 2024, we will make the difference. Thank you.